What is up, everybody? Alex here from Alto Music, bringing you guys another special guest for NAMM 2017. And we finally got one of the greatest drummers of our time to be here. We got Jordan Mancino, formerly of As I Lay Dying and of WOVENWAR. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to have you. So before we get into gear, there's a couple questions. You've just released Honor Is Dead this past summer. The record sounds phenomenal. How's the record cycle been so far?
It's been good. Been busy. Yeah, so I mean, just trying to tour more, play more shows, and yeah, play more of the songs. And that's about it. So I've been doing a lot of, Josh and Shane have been doing a lot of radio stuff, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of we've been able to reach a little bit of a different audience with the record, even though it's heavier than our last one. But yeah, it's been good. It's been cool. So.
It's really good. The record sounds great. The first time I saw you guys, you were with Atreyu, and then I saw you with Soilwork. So you've been touring with so many different bands. So you've been touring, you know, with Atreyu, which I think appeals to more of a younger crowd, and then with like Soilwork, you know, Swedish death metal. I also know you played with Unearth on that tour a little bit. So do you see, even though you're behind the drums the whole time, like, do you notice like a different type of audience with these diverse bands and lineups you've been on?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. You know, I think that's. I think it's what you try to do when you do support tours, is play to different audiences, you know. And I think one, you're bringing your own fans into the show, but you're also playing in front of like I guess what would be the headliner or the upper tier like support fans. You know, that's why that's, I guess, it's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons you tour so much is that you're trying to like I guess build an audience guerrilla style, you know. So.
Touring, that's how the bands do it now. Now, coming from As I Lay Dying, you know, WOVENWAR is pretty much of all the members of As I Lay Dying, with the exception of Tim, you know, Josh and Phil, even though he's not in the project anymore, and Nick and stuff like that. So, transitioning from As I Lay Dying to WOVENWAR, because you had all the original members, did that make a sort of easier transition to start a new project?
I mean, in some aspects, yes, but other aspects, I mean, it's just like starting over, you know. So I mean, as far as like the creative process, it was, I was comfortable, but also like known, who you're writing with, and it's just like the way we write together, and like over time you develop like writing and creative eccentricities or efficiencies, but I think overall like we are very efficient at writing as a band, and. But at the same time, when we bring, Shane into the picture, things change a little bit, But Shane was just, kind of, it's a shoe-in. It just, it fit very well. The creative process was great, and just felt like, more refreshing than it had been in a while. And yeah, everything seemed to be pretty smooth, actually. Besides, starting the new band, that process gets a little bit more difficult, but.
Situation.
No, yeah, but even aside from that, just starting a new band in general, it's you're trying to build a new band, basically kind of, obviously your past precedes you a little bit, but just trying to build a new fan base, and we tried to do it in the most genuine way possible, and which is always a challenge, but it's something we've been able to do before, and are used to that process anyway. So yeah, that's about it.
That's really good. And with Honor Is Dead, it's the second record of WOVENWAR. So, your first record, which was phenomenal, really great record, and you moved forward to this record. Were you trying to kind of make a follow-up to the first record, or were you sort of like trying to experiment, try something new, or just trying to express the WOVENWAR sound?
I think it was just, it felt pretty natural. I mean, I think we kind of just started writing and throwing around ideas. And I after doing like touring for off the first record, we felt more like cohesive as a band. I think like we actually recorded and wrote that whole first record without even playing one show. So I think as a band, it's like you learn like I guess how to play together and learn each other's strengths, like performing live, as well as being in the studio, but performing live usually is like kind of where you catch that stride. And after that first album cycle and all the touring that we did, we felt more like a band, and felt like I guess kind of maybe honed in our sound a little bit more to its like truest intent, and yeah, it really just kind of everything was pretty organic from there. So yeah.
It sounds like an organic record, like World on Fire and Stone's Thrown. It has everything, you know, fans could have loved about As I Lay Dying, but combining what the new stuff that WOVENWAR has to offer, and I was really excited to see the second one there. And final question before we move on to gear. Coming from Southern California and San Diego, you know, that's home to so many great bands, especially from, you know, like modern bands like Avenged Sevenfold and Atreyu and, you know, As I Lay Dying and so much. So when you guys were starting out, whether it was As I Lay Dying or WOVENWAR, were you able to kind of network and like become part of that movement in a way?
You mean as far as WOVENWAR is concerned, or you mean for both bands?
For both bands.
Really, you know, we actually went on tour and then kind of came home to be part of the scene, I guess. It's just, you know, it's San Diego is definitely, you know, Orange County's like, and San Diego scenes, I guess, back in the day were, I guess, a little separated. You know, I mean, everybody would play shows together and stuff like that, but I think the most important thing for us was just getting out on tour, you know. So we just went out on tour. We actually only played San Diego a handful of times before we just went out on tour and started playing around the country. And then I think every time you come back to San Diego, it felt like, you know, that fan base was growing a little bit, you know. And I think it's pretty much was the process, was like not just to play your hometown too much, you know, and overplay, you know, just to exhaust like your fan base or your friend base or whatever it is, you know. So yeah, I think the most important thing for us like was just to tour and to be active, you know, and just to kind of, like I said, a guerrilla style of marketing is just one person at a time, you know, and to yeah, I guess perform our art live, but also be able to sell records and sell merch on the road, and yeah, it's what most metal bands do anyway. So yeah,
exactly. Because I was always wondering, because, you know, like Killswitch Engage and All That Remains, Shadows Fall and Unearth, all those guys came from like the same like the Massachusetts bands, you know, with Morbid Angel and Deicide and Obituary coming from Tampa and all that stuff. I was always curious to see if like location always played a role in a certain movement.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean it definitely does, but as far as like it relates to just the band itself, like it's always, you know, going out and playing and touring and stuff like that is the most important thing. But yes, like I mean within those scenes, like yeah, it becomes very incestuous, yes, as far as like band members and stuff like that. But you know, I think a lot of like even like, you know, like Terror from Bleeding Through, like his first band, Cast in Stone, played with my first band, Edge of Mortality, like at our first show when I was like 16, I think, or 15, you know, and it's like, so we know these people a lot from like bands that we were in, but the bands that actually started kind of to, you know, go out nationally or internationally, I guess like you had reformed from like, I guess where we initially met each other, you know, or knew each other from. So, but in that sense, yes, it was very connected, and I mean, I say incestuous like in a good way, but it's like, you know, the people that like had bands like, you know, that I guess held that scene together in Southern California, either kept on with those same bands or started new ones with different members from other bands, you know, and definitely really cool to like see, like, you know, just sort of, I guess, think back and how things kind of grew into what they are now, you know, or what they were and are now. So.
I'm from New York City, so we're the hardcore capital with like Agnostic Front, Life of Agony, and all of them. So
similar, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a big network, you know, with like you were saying, like the Massachusetts thing, and then like, you know, New York, Jersey thing, and it's like, yeah, it's cool.
It's crazy. So finally, we just want to get onto some of the gear you use. We finally get to talk about some drum gear. Sorry, drummers, we have not forgotten about you. Because you, what kind of gear? I guess the best question is, what gear do you use specifically, like in terms of sticks and pedals and all your drum set?
Yeah, my drums are DW, and then DW. I play DW and PDP, DW hardware, Zildjian cymbals, ProMark drumsticks.
Oh wow! So, yeah, we just toured through the DW factory actually, and it's quite the thing. I wasn't there, but and Zildjian, I mean, they've been around for hundreds of years, so it almost seems like it would be foolish not to go with them.
Yeah, you know, and that's, you know, I guess I was talking to the Digital Metal Injection about this, but like, I've always played what I wanted to play, you know, like what is preferable to me, not who, like, you know, is the person that's going to give me the free gear, you know. And it's like I always like care about Minecraft, and I care about like the fact that they are like the artists and the craftsmen like for these instruments that I use for what I do, you know. So I think it's important to make sure that, like, not even like, you know, drummers or any artist, I guess, is just to use what you want to use, you know, and play what you want to play. And, you know, it takes a while to figure it out. It doesn't happen like, you know, instantly. But yeah, just always figure out what works best for you, and then what you know, what speaks best for what you do. So
that's awesome. And because you know, from everything you've done with As They Lay Dying and WOVENWAR, you have what I've loved about both projects. You guys have very, very fast parts, like songs like Parallels off of the As They Lay Dying saga, but then you take a song like I Never Wanted off another As They Lay Dying song, or World on Fire off the new WOVENWAR record. You have to do fast and slow, so does the gear that you use help you make those transitions? Because it seems like you have to do them so suddenly.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not, you know, the instrument doesn't play itself for you, but, you know what I mean, I think it definitely, it helps me, like, just shape what I want to do, you know. And I think, and it is very reliable, you know. And yeah, I don't know, it's just, I guess it's kind of hard to describe, but yeah.
And a lot of people want to know, because double bass, I just don't understand. Like, you and like Tim Young, for example, you guys are just like machines. Like, so what is the secret to double bass?
No secrets.
No secrets. Just
gotta. I mean, I'm not like. I guess I would never call myself like a natural. You know, music. It's like I just would practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and continue to maintain, but then try to practice more. And, like, you know, it's. I think of it like, you know, like any sort of basic sport or anything else. You know, it's drums are a very physical instrument, and I think it's important to train, like, I call it training and practicing, but train in a way that, like, you know, I guess it helps you achieve your objectives, you know, and your goals. And just like, you know, you're not gonna, let's say it's silly to say this, but it's like, you know, you're not gonna wake up one day and run, like, you know, whatever, 5-minute mile. Maybe some people would, I don't know, but, you know, it's like if you're running an 8-minute mile and you got some work to do, and, like, you know, you just got to keep going at it, you know what I mean? Then you're going to get faster and faster and faster, you know, as your body, like, I guess, figures it out. So.
Because seeing you on the Soilwork tour playing with WOVENWAR, and then, you know, just 2 acts later playing with Unearth, I was feeling exhausted for you. I mean,
yeah, that was exhausting, actually. That's the first time I've done double duty on a tour, but it was fun.
Yeah, you did that for the whole tour? Or just...
Yeah, the whole tour, yeah.
Wow, bless your soul, man. But I want to truly thank you so much for being here. Everybody, Jordan Mancino from WOVENWAR. Check out the new record, Honor is Dead. We are here at NAMM 2017. Alto Music, everybody. See you next time.